The massive Imperial starship dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of a yellow star system. Its sensors immediately detected 9 planets, with the third one showing clear signs of civilization. Commander James Stone stood at the bridge's main viewport, his gold-trimmed uniform reflecting the distant starlight as he studied the blue planet. "Another primitive world for the Empire's collection," he said to his crew, not bothering to hide his boredom. After all, the Empire had conquered thousands of worlds over the past millennium. This would be no different. The ship's AI spoke up. "Sir, we're detecting unusual energy readings from the planet's moon. It appears to be a military base." Stone raised an eyebrow. This was somewhat unexpected. Most primitive species hadn't even reached their moons yet. Still, it made no difference to the Empire's plans. Before he could issue orders, the ship's communication system crackled to life. A clear, calm voice spoke in perfect Imperial Standard language. "This is Earth Defense Command to approaching vessel. You have entered restricted space. Please identify yourself." The bridge crew exchanged surprised looks. No primitive species should have been able to detect their ship's presence, let alone communicate in Imperial Standard. Stone cleared his throat. "This is Commander James Stone of the Imperial Exploration Fleet. Your world has been chosen to join the Galactic Empire. Prepare for peaceful integration or face military action." There was a pause before Earth responded. The same calm voice returned, but now it carried a hint of warning. "Commander Stone, we have no interest in joining your empire. We request that you leave our space immediately. This is not a threat, but a friendly warning. Humanity values peace, but we are prepared for war." Laughter erupted across the bridge. Stone himself couldn't help but smile. The audacity of these primitives. Their scans showed only basic space stations and a handful of crewed ships near the planet. The Empire's smallest fleet could crush them in hours. "Your bravery is noted," Stone replied. "But the Empire does not take orders from primitive species. You have 24 hours to surrender, or we will demonstrate the Empire's power." The response was immediate this time. "Commander, you mistake our warning for bravery or bluster. We have studied your empire for the past 50 years. We know your strengths and weaknesses. We do not wish to harm you or your crew. Please, reconsider." Stone froze. 50 years. Impossible. They had just discovered this system. Unless... "Sir," his science officer called out, "I'm detecting unusual temporal distortions around their planet. They seem to have some form of sensor masking technology we've never encountered before." Stone's smile faded. Something wasn't right here. Still, he had his orders. The Empire never showed weakness, especially to primitive worlds. "Your deception and resistance have been noted," he announced. "The Empire will not be threatened. Prepare for subjugation." The Earth transmission came one final time. "Very well. Remember this moment, Commander Stone. Remember that we warned you. Remember that we gave you a chance to leave in peace. Whatever happens next is on your head." The transmission cut off. Stone ordered his ship to pull back and prepare for the arrival of the invasion fleet. As they retreated to a safe distance, his tactical officer reported strange energy readings from Earth's direction. "Sir," the officer said, his voice shaking slightly, "those readings, they're unlike anything in our database, and they're getting stronger." Stone dismissed the officer's concerns. After all, this was just another primitive world about to learn its place in the Empire. He had seen it 100 times before. But as he stared at the blue planet growing smaller in their viewport, a chill ran down his spine. Something about their warning felt different. Something about their confidence didn't match their apparent level of technology. For the first time in his career, Commander James Stone wondered if the Empire might have made a terrible mistake. He would soon learn just how right that feeling was. 3 days later, Commander Stone watched with satisfaction as the Imperial invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace. 500 warships filled the space around Earth's orbit, their golden hulls gleaming in the sunlight. Each ship was bigger than anything humans had ever built, Or so the Empire thought. Invasion fleet in position. Sir, his tactical officer reported. Earth's primitive defenses remain unchanged. Only 20 small ships protecting their planet. Stone nodded and opened a channel to the invasion fleet. Begin the attack. Show these humans the price of defying the Empire. The massive Imperial ships moved forward in perfect formation, their weapon systems charging. Standard protocol. Destroy the military targets first, then hit major cities until the planet surrenders. It had worked on thousands of worlds before. The first shot was fired. A massive energy beam from the Imperial flagship streaked toward Earth's orbital defense station. It passed right through it. Sir, the tactical officer shouted. The station. It's not real. It's some kind of hologram. Before Stone could respond, space itself seemed to ripple around the Imperial fleet. Where there had been empty void, hundreds of human ships suddenly appeared. They were smaller than Imperial vessels, but sleek, dark, and deadly looking. A new voice came over their communications. This is Admiral Tom Walker of the Earth Defense Force. We gave you a chance to leave. You chose war instead. So be it. The human ships moved with impossible speed. They didn't follow any known battle formation. Instead, they weaved between the Imperial ships like a swarm of angry insects, each firing weapons that somehow bypassed the Empire's strongest shields. Impossible, Stone shouted as the first Imperial ships began exploding. Their technology is primitive. Our scans showed. Your scans showed what we wanted them to show. Walker's voice replied calmly. Humans learned long ago to hide our true strength. We've been preparing for this day since we first detected your Empire's expansion. The battle turned into chaos. Imperial ships tried to maintain their rigid battle formations, but the human vessels were too quick, too unpredictable. They seemed to appear and disappear at will, striking from impossible angles. Sir, we've lost 30 ships already. The tactical officer reported, his voice shaking. Their weapons, they're using some kind of gravity technology we've never seen before. Stone watched in horror as another wave of human ships emerged from behind Earth's moon. These were larger vessels, carrying what looked like thousands of smaller craft. Launch all fighters, Stone ordered desperately. Call in our reserve fleet. But the human fighters proved even more devastating than their capital ships. They flew in ways that defied physics, making turns that should have killed their pilots. Each one carried weapons that could cripple an Imperial ship 10 times its size. Admiral Walker's voice came through again. Commander Stone, your invasion fleet is in ruins. You've lost over half your ships in less than an hour. Surrender now, and we will spare the survivors. Stone stared at his tactical display in disbelief. 300 Imperial ships destroyed or disabled. The greatest invasion fleet in the sector, reduced to wreckage by a species they had dismissed as primitive. Sir, his second-in-command whispered, we need to retreat. We need to warn the Empire. Stone nodded slowly, finally understanding the true meaning of the humans' earlier warning. All remaining ships, retreat to Rally Point Beta. Full emergency speed. As the surviving Imperial ships flowed into hyperspace, Admiral Walker sent one final message. Tell your Empire what happened here today. Tell them that Earth stands ready to defend itself. And tell them this is just a small demonstration of what humanity can do when threatened. Stone watched the blue planet disappear from his viewport as his ship jumped to safety. In just 1 hour, everything he knew about the Empire's supremacy had been proven wrong. They had expected an easy victory over a primitive species. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous than they could have imagined. And this was only the beginning. 1 week after defeating the Imperial invasion fleet, Earth's War Council gathered in their underground command center. Admiral Tom Walker stood before a huge holographic map showing Imperial space. Around him sat the leaders of Earth's combined military forces, their faces lit by the blue glow of the display. The Empire won't stay quiet after their defeat, Walker said, pointing to several red dots on the map. "Our spy drones report they're gathering an even larger fleet. This time, they'll come prepared." Director Anna Reed, head of Earth Intelligence, stepped forward. "Then it's time we show them what humanity can really do. For 50 years, we've hidden our strength. Now let's demonstrate why that was a smart decision on our part." The room's main screen lit up with images of Earth's hidden military power. Massive shipyards emerged from beneath the ocean's surfaces. Entire fleets appeared from the dark side of Mars. Space stations shimmered into view as their cloaking fields dropped. "Begin Operation Thunderstrike," Walker commanded. "All ships execute their assigned missions." Across the solar system, humanity's real war machine sprang to life. Ships that made the Imperial vessels look primitive by comparison moved into position. Each one carried weapons and defenses developed through decades of preparation. In Imperial space, Commander Stone was trying to explain his defeat to the Empire's high command when the first attacks began. Human ships appeared simultaneously at 30 different Imperial bases. Their weapons weren't just advanced. They seemed impossible. "Sir," an Imperial officer shouted at their central command. "The humans, they're using gravity itself as a weapon. Their ships are creating artificial black holes." The Empire's rigid military structure began to crumble. Their ships couldn't track the human vessels. Their weapons couldn't penetrate Earth's advanced shields. Their tactics, unchanged for centuries, proved useless against humanity's fluid combat style. At one Imperial shipyard, a single human destroyer demonstrated why Earth's warnings should have been heeded. The ship's eye, more advanced than anything the Empire had ever seen, hacked into their defense systems in seconds. Then, using the Empire's own weapons, it destroyed 50 Imperial vessels without firing a single shot of its own. Walker watched the reports coming in with grim satisfaction. "Send the message to all Imperial worlds," he ordered. "Tell them exactly what we told their invasion fleet. Surrender, and they will be treated fairly." Some Imperial worlds took the wise choice and surrendered immediately. They had seen the footage of the first battle. Others, clinging to their belief in Imperial superiority, chose to fight. They didn't fight for long. Earth's ships moved like ghosts through Imperial defenses. Their advanced AI systems predicted and countered every Imperial strategy before it could be executed. Humanity's weapons, developed in secret over decades, turned the Empire's mighty warships into space debris. "Sir," Director Reed reported, checking her datapad, "we've destroyed or captured 60% of the Empire's military assets in just 3 days. Their entire defense network is in chaos." Walker nodded, but his expression remained serious. "And the Imperial capital?" "Still defiant," Reed answered. "They're gathering everything they have left for one massive counterattack. They refuse to believe a primitive species could defeat them so completely." "Their pride will be their downfall," Walker said quietly. "Prepare our phase shift devices. If they want to see humanity's full power, we'll show them." As he spoke, Earth's most advanced warships moved into position around the Imperial capital system. These ships carried humanity's greatest secret, technology that could bend the very fabric of reality. The Empire was about to learn why humans had worked so hard to hide their true capabilities. They were about to understand why Earth had warned them to run. In his command chair, Admiral Walker gave the order that would change the galaxy forever. "All ships, activate phase shift drives. Show them what happens when humanity stops holding back." The real war was about to begin. In the grand throne room of the Imperial Palace, High Commander Robert Black faced his worst nightmare. The holographic displays showed human ships systematically destroying everything the Empire had built over 1,000 years. Not through brute force, but with terrifying precision and technology that seemed like magic. "How?" he demanded, slamming his fist on the golden armrest. "How can they be everywhere at once?" His answer came in the form of another alert. Human ships had just appeared inside the supposedly impenetrable defense ring of yet another Imperial fortress world. Not around it, inside it. They simply phased through the strongest shields the Empire had ever built. "Sir," his aide reported, voice trembling, "we've lost contact with the Centauri supply fleet. All 300 ships just vanished." In Earth's command center, Captain Lisa Parker, leader of the stealth fleet, allowed herself a small smile. Her ships had just pulled off their most daring raid yet. The Imperial supply fleet hadn't vanished. It had been captured intact, its crews never even realizing what happened until it was too late. "Phase shift technology is working better than expected," she reported to Admiral Walker. "The Empire's ships can't detect us until we want them to. Their sensors might as well be Stone Age tools." Walker nodded, studying the tactical display. Humanity's attack had split the Empire into isolated pockets. Their once mighty supply lines were in ruins. Their communication networks had been hacked and shut down by Earth's AI systems. For the first time in Imperial history, their worlds were cut off from each other. "Director Reed," Walker called out, "show me what their people are seeing." The main screen filled with images from Imperial worlds. Civilians watched in terror as human ships appeared and disappeared at will, striking military targets with surgical precision. Earth's forces never harmed civilian areas, but that almost made it worse. It showed just how much control they had. "Their social networks are flooding with panic," Reed reported. "The Empire always told their people they were invincible. Now they're watching that lie crumble in real time." On the Imperial capital world, High Commander Black received even worse news. "Sir, the human ships, they're using some kind of quantum scanning technology. They can see through our stealth systems, our bunkers, everything. There's nowhere we can hide our forces." Black watched helplessly as another battle unfolded on his screens. An Imperial fleet tried to ambush a human task force, using their best stealth technology. The humans not only detected them instantly, but had prepared a trap of their own. "Observe," Captain Parker told her crew as they watched the battle. "Standard Imperial tactics. They never learn, never adapt. That's why they'll lose." The Empire's ships, still moving in their rigid formations, were easy targets for Earth's advanced weapons. Human gunners didn't even need to aim. Their AI systems predicted where Imperial ships would be and fired accordingly. It wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration of absolute superiority. "Sir," Parker reported back to Walker, "the Empire just tried to use their planet killer weapon." Walker raised an eyebrow. "And our phase shift fields redirected the energy beam back at their own fleet. They lost 40 ships to their own super weapon. The survivors are retreating in panic." The Empire's finest commanders, veterans of 1,000 victories, found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't understand. Human ships ignored the laws of physics as the Empire knew them. Human weapons struck through their strongest defenses. Human tactics changed constantly, never following the same pattern twice. In his throne room, High Commander Black received one final report that broke his spirit. "Sir, the humans have begun broadcasting on all frequencies. They're showing our people everything. All our secret defeats, all our failed tactics. They're showing the galaxy that we're not invincible." Black slumped in his throne. The Empire had ruled through fear for centuries. Now, for the first time, they were the ones who were afraid. And Earth was far from finished with them. 2 weeks into the war, humanity's true production capacity shocked the galaxy. Deep beneath Earth's oceans, automated factories worked at impossible speeds. The moon's dark side revealed itself to be one massive shipyard. Mars opened up to show weapon factories built inside the entire planet. Dr. William Foster, Earth's chief weapons scientist, stood proudly before the War Council. "Every Imperial ship we capture teaches us more about their technology," he explained, pointing to the holograms of new human warships. "And we're improving it far beyond what they thought possible." The new vessels were terrifying hybrids of human innovation and reversed-engineered Imperial tech. Each ship could match an entire Imperial battle fleet. Their hulls, built with advanced nanomaterials, could repair themselves. Their weapons combined human eye with Imperial energy systems in ways the Empire had never imagined. On the Imperial capital world, High Commander Black watched another defensive line crumble. "How are they building ships so fast?" he demanded. "We destroyed 3 of their fleets yesterday." His voice shook as he replied, "Sir, those weren't real ships. They were holograms. The real attack came from behind while we wasted our firepower on ghosts." The Empire's worlds began to fall, not just to human military might, but to choice. Seeing Earth's power and mercy, how they spared civilians and offered protection, many Imperial planets simply switched sides. Another sector has surrendered. Director Reed reported to Admiral Walker. "Their governor says they've watched how we fight. We target military installations only. We protect civilian lives. And we keep our promises. They want our protection now, not the Empire's." Walker nodded, studying the latest battle reports. Earth's forces had taken control of the Empire's most important shipyards. Human engineers swarmed over the captured facilities, upgrading them with automation and AI systems. What had taken the Empire a month to build, humans could now produce in days. "Sir," Captain Parker called out, "the Imperial Ministry of Science just defected. Their entire research division sent us all their secret projects and asked for asylum." The Empire's carefully maintained image of superiority was cracking. Their own people had seen too much. Videos spread across Imperial networks showing human ships casually ignoring their strongest weapons. Stories circulated about Earth's AI systems predicting and countering Imperial strategies before they even began. In orbit around one Imperial fortress world, a single human destroyer demonstrated their new capabilities. As Imperial ships fired their planet-killer weapon, the destroyer's phase shift drive activated. The massive energy beam passed harmlessly through it. Then, using the Empire's own technology improved by human innovation, the destroyer disabled the entire Imperial fleet without destroying a single ship. "Attention Imperial forces," the destroyer's captain broadcast. "Your weapons cannot harm us. Your shields cannot stop us. Your tactics cannot surprise us. But we still offer you the same choice. Surrender and live, or continue this pointless fight." The Imperial fleet surrendered. Back in Earth's command center, Dr. Foster unveiled humanity's latest achievement. "We've cracked their faster-than-light technology," he announced. "Our improvements make their fastest ships look like they're standing still. We can reach any point in their empire within hours." The Empire's last hope, their ability to move reinforcements quickly, was gone. Humanity could now strike anywhere, anytime, faster than Imperial ships could respond. High Commander Black received the news with growing despair. "Our best technology turned against us and made better. Our strongest worlds choosing to join them. Our people losing faith in us. How did we not see this coming?" The answer lay in the Empire's own arrogance. They had dismissed humans as primitive because Earth had hidden its true power. That mistake had cost them everything. "Prepare the capital defenses," Black ordered, knowing it was probably futile. "Humanity wants our throne world. Let them come try to take it." In Earth's command center, Admiral Walker gave a single command: "Begin the final phase. Show them what humanity can really do when we stop playing nice." The Empire was about to face its final lessons in humility. High Commander Black stood in the Imperial capital's Supreme Defense Center, watching as 10,000 ships, everything left of the once mighty Imperial fleet, gathered for their final stand. The golden city planet below sparkled with shield energy as every defensive system powered up to maximum. "Let them come," he told his commanders. "One final battle. Show these humans what Imperial power truly means." In Earth's command center, Admiral Walker reviewed the battle plan with his staff. "Their entire remaining fleet guards the capital. They expect us to meet them head-on, strength against strength." Director Reed smiled slightly. "Then let's show them how humans really fight." The Empire's sensors detected the human fleet emerging from faster-than-light travel, 5,000 ships, half their number. Black allowed himself a small hope. Perhaps the humans had finally overreached. That hope died seconds later. Instead of engaging the Imperial fleet, the human ships simply vanished. Not retreated, vanished. Confused Imperial commanders ordered their forces to maintain formation, waiting for the attack. They were looking in the wrong direction. Captain Parker's voice echoed across all Imperial channels. Look down. The Empire's commanders watched in horror as human ships phased up through the capital planet itself, emerging straight through the ground and buildings as if they were ghosts. They had bypassed every orbital defense by going through the planet rather than approaching from space. Impossible. Black shouted. No ship can survive passing through solid matter. Human phase shift technology says otherwise. Parker replied calmly. Now about those planetary shields. As she spoke, the shields protecting the capital flickered and died. Earth's AI systems had already hacked and disabled them. The mighty defenses of the Imperial throne world, built over centuries, were undone in minutes. All Imperial forces, Walker's voice boomed across the command channels. Your capital is now under our control. Your ground defenses are disabled. Your communications are in our hands. Your shields no longer exist. Black watched as his final fleet tried to attack the human ships. The result was both swift and humiliating. Human vessels simply allowed Imperial weapons to pass harmlessly through them, while their own attacks struck with devastating precision. Sir, Captain Parker reported to Walker, their fleet is disabled. Minimal casualties on their side. No civilian casualties at all. The streets of the capital fell silent as massive human ships hovered above the city centers, their presence both awesome and terrifying. Yet they didn't fire a single shot at the ground. Instead, they began broadcasting messages to the population. Citizens of the Empire, Walker's voice echoed through the streets. We have disabled your military. We control your capital. But we are not here to destroy or conquer. Surrender, and we offer peace, protection, and partnership. In his command center, Black received the reports of mass surrenders across the fleet. Entire battle groups were powering down their weapons. Ground forces were standing down. Even his own elite guards were laying down their arms. You could have prevented this, Walker told him privately. We warned you to leave us alone. We warned you that we were stronger than we appeared. Your pride brought this defeat. The final surrender took less than an hour. Imperial troops watched in amazement as human soldiers phased through walls to secure critical locations. Their advanced armor made them seem like walking tanks, yet they used stunning weapons, taking everyone alive. In Earth's command center, the War Council received the official surrender. The Empire, which had ruled the galaxy for 1,000 years, had fallen to a species they had dismissed as primitive. Broadcast the victory message, Walker ordered. Let the galaxy know that the war is over. A new age begins today. As human ships secured the capital, Imperial citizens emerged from their homes to find not the brutal conquerors they expected, but disciplined soldiers offering food and medical aid. The Empire had expected Earth to behave as they would have, with cruelty and dominance. Instead, humanity showed them a better way. The Empire's last stand had become humanity's greatest victory, not just in battle, but in mercy. 1 month after the fall of the Imperial capital, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered in Earth's newly constructed Galactic Assembly. The massive structure floated in orbit, its transparent dome offering a view of Earth below, the planet that had changed everything. Admiral Walker stood at the main podium, facing the gathered delegates. Former Imperial worlds sat alongside Earth's allies, their traditional rivalry replaced by shared amazement at how quickly everything had changed. We didn't want this war, Walker began, his voice carrying across the chamber. We warned the Empire to leave us alone. But from their mistake, we will build something better. High Commander Black, now serving as a liaison between former Imperial worlds and Earth, stood to speak. The past month had humbled him completely. I commanded the greatest fleet in Imperial history, he told the Assembly. I watched humans turn our most powerful weapons useless. I saw them phase through solid planets. I expected them to destroy us completely. He paused, looking at Walker. Instead, they showed us mercy we never deserved. The assembly screens displayed the changes already happening across former Imperial space. Human engineering teams were upgrading Imperial technology. Earth's AI systems were optimizing planetary defense networks. Former enemies were learning to work together. Director Reed presented the new Galactic Defense Charter. Each world maintains its independence, she explained. Earth will provide protection and technology, but we don't rule over you. We guide and defend. The changes were dramatic but carefully managed. Human ships, still far advanced beyond anything else in the galaxy, patrolled trade routes that had once been plagued by pirates. Earth's phase shift technology, carefully shared with trusted allies, revolutionized transportation and exploration. Dr. Foster stood to explain the technological sharing program. We hid our advances for 50 years because we feared the Empire's aggression, he said. Now we can share them properly, help everyone advance together. The assembly watched in awe as he demonstrated humanity's latest achievements. Ships that could cross the galaxy in days. Medical technology that could cure almost any disease. Energy systems that could power entire planets without pollution. But most importantly, Walker added, we share our philosophy. Power doesn't require cruelty. Strength doesn't mean dominance. Technology should unite us, not divide us. Captain Parker, now Fleet Commander of the new Galactic Defense Force, reported on the stability of former Imperial space. Former Imperial citizens are adapting well, she said. They're learning that protection doesn't require fear. Many have joined our crews, bringing valuable experience and local knowledge. The former Imperial worlds were transforming. Their rigid hierarchies replaced by more open systems. Their fear-based control giving way to cooperative governance. Their close technology now enhanced by human innovation. We kept hearing one question during the war, Walker told the assembly. Why did humans hide their power for so long? The answer is simple. We didn't want to rule through fear like the Empire. We wanted to be ready to protect and serve when the time came. The Assembly's final act was to establish the Galactic Protection Alliance. Earth would lead in defense and technology, but every world would have a voice in decisions. The Empire's 1,000-year reign of terror had been replaced by something new, a partnership of equals. In the Empire's central archives, a new entry was made, written by Black himself. We found a primitive world and ignored their warning to leave them alone. We mistook their patience for weakness, their preparation for fear, their mercy for softness. That mistake cost us an empire, but gave us something better in return. As the assembly closed, Walker looked out at Earth shining below. Humans had gone from hiding their strength to leading the galaxy, all because the Empire couldn't listen to a simple warning. The galaxy learns an important lesson today, he told the delegates in closing. Judge not by appearances, but by actions. And most importantly, when someone warns you to run, sometimes you really should listen. The assembly chamber filled with laughter, the sound of former enemies now united under humanity's protection. A new age had begun, born from a war that need never have happened. Humanity had proved itself the most advanced civilization in the galaxy, not just through technology and power, but through wisdom and mercy. The Empire's end had become everyone's beginning.